The Dallas Cowboys are hiding this from the NFL playoffs, so we're gonna be going through that and 5 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel hitting that red button down below. The first story is the Dallas Cowboys are hiding that they could have the easiest path to the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys aren't exactly going into the playoffs with a ton of momentum. While they won 6 of their final 8 games, their last 2 performances, including their worst performance of the year against Washington, have fans and those who cover the team worried for what lies ahead. What lies ahead? A road trip to Tampa Bay to face Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. While the Bucs themselves limped into the tournament by winning the lowly NFC South with an under .500 record, playoff Brady is a different animal, and he's a ridiculous 7-0 against the Cowboys in his career. While Dallas focuses on turning the page to Tampa Bay, fans and journalists have the luxury of looking ahead and scoping out the NFC playoff picture, which was finalized Sunday night after the Lions defeated the Packers in Lambeau to send Green Bay packing and the Seahawks to the dance. Here's a look at the final NFC playoff picture. We'd all agree that anything less than an appearance in the NFC Championship game would make the season a failure, right? Not that winning in January is easy, but luckily for you, we mapped out the Cowboys' de facto easiest path to the NFC title game. Unfortunately, the Packers making the playoffs would have been in Dallas' best interest, assuming they'd have a better chance to win in San Francisco than Seattle. Either way, the 49ers choking at home to their division rivals on Wild Card Weekend is what every Cowboys fan should be rooting for. In that scenario, the Seahawks would travel to Philadelphia in the divisional round, setting up a potential Cowboys versus Vikings or Cowboys versus Giants matchup that weekend, assuming Dallas handles their business in Tampa Bay. You couldn't ask for a better turn of events than Dallas playing Minnesota or New York in the second round. The Cowboys dismantled the Vikings 40-3 on the road earlier this season and completed a season sweep of the Giants for the second year in a row, including in Week 3 with Cooper Rush running the offense. Again, it's unlikely. The 49ers opened as 10-point favorites against the Seahawks. They won both meetings against the Fighting Pete Carrolls this season by a combined 28 points. It's not an ideal matchup for Geno Smith on Seattle's offense, but beating the same team thrice in 1 year is a rarity in the NFL, and San Francisco's magic has to run out at some point, right? Either way, Cowboys fans should be rooting for a Seahawks win this weekend as far as scoreboard watching goes. The second story is Rhodes ready to contribute for Cowboys in playoffs. If it's up to him, Xavier Rhodes will be in uniform and on the field to try and help the Dallas Cowboys in their visit to Raymond James Stadium on NFL Super Wild Card Weekend to take on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The decision is up to the coaching staff, however, but Rhodes is physically ready and in great spirits, just envisioning another shot at playoff football. That's something you have to ask the coaches, but what I can tell you is how I feel out there, said the 3-time Pro Bowl cornerback following practice on Thursday. I feel great. I feel like I'm getting the hang of things on defense, with the playbook and everything, so we'll see sometime today or tomorrow. But, as noted above, he's champing at the bit. Can I go? If I didn't, I wouldn't be here, he said. Rhodes was signed to the Cowboys practice squad on Saturday, just hours before boarding the team's charter flight to the nation's capital for the regular season finale against the Washington Commanders. And despite the overall poor showing by Dallas, the time spent there was invaluable in helping Rhodes get a feel for his new organization. To just see how the team works, the camaraderie of the team, how guys communicate in games, and how the coaches teach the players on the sidelines, said Rhodes. You see all of that as a new player and you just fall right in. Falling right in and pronto is precisely what the Cowboys are hoping for, and especially with the battle against Brady on the horizon with the season on the line. Helping Rhodes acclimate that much more quickly are familiar faces he spent time with at other NFL destinations. A former first-round pick of the Minnesota Vikings in 2013, Rhodes played under current Cowboys senior defensive assistant George Edwards during the latter's stretch as one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, alongside safety Jaron Kearse and 4-time Pro Bowl linebacker Anthony Barr. It feels great, like you're at home, Rhodes said of reuniting with his former Vikings compatriots in Dallas. Once you go to a new team and you don't know anyone, you have to start all over and feel it out yourself, and hopefully the guys like you. But having guys you've played with for multiple years, I'd say approximately a minimum of 4, you just fall in and they help you out with the team and the coaching staff. He's not kidding, by the way. During the locker room congratulations for Kearse, who won the annual PFWA Good Guy Award for media availability over the course of the 2022 season. Rhodes ran over and poured celebratory water on an unexpected Kearse's head, Kearse wearing an ear-to-ear grin and laughing after Rhodes' demonstration of love. It's clear the two have maintained a bond that now carries over into the Cowboys' locker room. How that will play out on Monday, assuming Rhodes plays, is to be determined. But he was clear on what exactly he brings to the team between the lines. Veteran, 10 years in, said Rhodes, "I've seen a lot of things and been in a lot of situations throughout my NFL career. I've been to the NFC Championship and throughout the playoffs. You can name it all, I've probably been through it. And having that experience to teach the young guys what to expect in certain situations and what certain quarterbacks like to throw to and who their favorite players are. I've been through a lot. I can definitely help teach them about situational football. It's a similar energy to what T.Y. Hilton, Jason Peters, Anthony Barr, and Jonathan Hankins have contributed to their respective positions in 2022, something Malik Hooker began doing in 2021 for the safety unit, so forth and so on. On Monday, if he's in uniform, it'll be another chance for Rhodes to make a run at potentially landing his first ever Super Bowl ring, and doing so with the Cowboys would also carry the special air of ending a long-standing drought in Dallas. The team hopes Rhodes is the final piece needed to accomplish that task, and he's hoping for the same success. The third story is Cowboys players asked about being 0-7 against Tom Brady, and their response could be bulletin board material for the GOAT. Several defensive players on the Dallas Cowboys are throwing gasoline on the fire with what they are saying about legendary quarterback Tom Brady and his intimidating 7-0 lifetime record versus the team, said safety Jaron Kearse, getting cute with the calendar. It's 2023. He ain't beat us this year. That's all we're worried about. He's technically correct since Brady's win came by a score of 19-3 in Week 1 back in 2022. So, the undefeated record doesn't matter. No, not at all, said veteran DeMarcus Lawrence. On paper, it appears the 12-5 Cowboys, who played Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the wild card round of the playoffs on Monday night, should defeat a team that finished under .500 in the regular season. However, everybody knows the history of the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs as well as Tom Brady's history. One of them is really good while the other seems to choke when the lights get bright. It would be in their best bet to not poke the bear as the game draws closer. The fourth story is Dallas Cowboys get frustrating roster news on Wednesday. The Dallas Cowboys waived interior offensive lineman Dakota Shepley from their active roster on Monday with the intention to re-sign him to their practice squad, but the Indianapolis Colts beat them to the punch. The Colts claimed Shepley off waivers on Tuesday, effectively ending his season. Because of the playoffs, the waiver claim is deferred until Monday, February 13, when the waiver period for the 2023 offseason officially begins. Teams can make claims now, but they won't be official for a month. The move diminishes the Cowboys' depth at guard and center ahead of the 2023 NFL playoffs. Shepley played 4 games for the Cowboys this season, seeing action on 14 offensive snaps and 16 on special teams. The 28-year-old played 13 career games in his time with the Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco 49ers, and New York Jets. He spent the 2019 season with the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the Canadian Football League and started 14 games. The fifth story is Jerry Jones dismisses idea that Mike McCarthy's job is on the line. Dallas Cowboys team owner Jerry Jones wants to make one thing clear: head coach Mike McCarthy's job is not on the line. When the Cowboys visit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cap off the wild card weekend for the NFL playoffs, Jones is stressing that even if Dallas loses, that won't dictate McCarthy's future with the franchise. Via Todd Archer of ESPN, "No, I don't even want to. No, that's it," Jones said during an interview with 105.3 The Fan on Tuesday. "I don't need to go into all the pluses or minuses. I've got a lot more to evaluate Mike McCarthy on than this playoff game." The Cowboys are coming off of a 12-win season, the first time Dallas has had back-to-back seasons of at least 12 wins since the 1994-95 seasons. That also happened to be the last time the team won a Super Bowl. Despite being the No. 5 seed, Dallas will enter their game versus Tampa Bay as the betting favorites. The Cowboys are minus 2.5-point favorites, according to Betm. However, they lost to the Buccaneers 19-3 in the season opener. It was their lowest point output of the season. Furthermore, the Cowboys Cowboys have never defeated a Tom Brady-led team since he became a starting quarterback in 2001. With all of that said, the Buccaneers are as vulnerable as they've ever been. They're 8-9 and are in the playoffs largely because they played in the weakest division in the NFC. Tampa Bay averaged just 18.4 points per game this season and ranked dead last in the league across the board in rushing. If the Cowboys fail to defeat arguably the weakest team in the NFC playoff field, it's hard to envision that there won't be ramifications for the loss. One has to remember that the Cowboys missed the playoffs in McCarthy's first season back in 2020, and they lost a home playoff game versus the San Francisco 49ers when Dallas was favored by minus 3.5 points last season. It's of no secret that longtime head coaching target Sean Payton is seeking a return to coaching in 2023. If the Cowboys falter again for the second straight postseason without winning a playoff game, do we really believe Jones won't give McCarthy the pink slip if he has the opportunity to bring in Payton? If Dallas wins a game that they should against a Buccaneers squad that has struggled all season long, McCarthy's job would appear to be safe heading into next season. It's worth noting McCarthy has 2 years left on his deal after this season.